Web3.tv.
Welcome back to another interview at the Bitcoin MENA Abu Dhabi 2025. I'm Adele, the host. Today we have Andrew Clifford with us from Bitcoin Unlimited.
Wow.
Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, and I'm enjoying this conference. It's great, and meeting you is excellent as well.
Thanks so much. We're here to educate. We want to know about all the different companies that are here in the conference. I see your beautiful booth, Nexa. Tell me a bit about some background about yourself and Bitcoin Unlimited, if you can.
Absolutely. So my background is I found out about Bitcoin in late 2012 when I was Christmas shopping, and I saw an issue of Linux Format magazine, and it had a Bitcoin logo on the front. And I made a mental note to research it, and I quickly researched it and found out how it worked, and became hooked ever since. So,
interesting.
Yeah,
and now Bitcoin Unlimited, how did this come about?
So Bitcoin Unlimited, soon after I learned about Bitcoin, I became worried about scalability with the 1 megabyte block. So my background was in IT for quite a few years, finance IT, and I knew that 1 megabyte was not enough to handle a great many transactions, especially every 10 minutes.
Right.
So I was part of the group of people that wanted to scale Bitcoin on its layer 1.
I see.
And that was actually supported by the original developers. Satoshi originally made Bitcoin able to handle 30 megabyte blocks, but he reduced it to 1 megabyte.
Why did he?
Yeah, because he's worried about spamming the network when it was small and there weren't many users. So in mid-2010, he put in what was a temporary change that was meant to be lifted. And Peter Woolley, Jeff Garzik and Gavin Andresen, who were managing the Bitcoin development, all published public comments that they wanted that limit to increase. And Peter even said it should go to 100 megabytes. So there was a real professional intention to increase the block limit and allow Bitcoin to scale on chain. But then there became a movement where there was don't make any changes and keep it as it is, and use layer 2 solutions. So what happened was we realized that that would be quite fatal, so we formed Bitcoin Unlimited. After we saw failed attempts to scale, we saw Gavin Andresen and Mike Hearn launch their Bitcoin XT in 2014, which failed to scale Bitcoin. Then there was Bitcoin Classic, which failed to scale it. So we thought we would have a try. We set up a group online, and we got donations and funding, and we created our own Bitcoin software. And for a while, we had more than 50% of the Bitcoin hash rate was our software. But we couldn't swing over all the exchanges and get them to make full use of our software. So in the end, the community went with Bitcoin Core, and the scaling on layer 1 never happened. So we've now got Lightning Network, etc., for layer 2. But in the meantime, the fees went mental and drove the users away, and Ethereum grabbed loads of the Bitcoin users, basically the whole crypto community, added advanced features such as DeFi features, and that meant that Bitcoin became more of a store of value coin. And that has worried me since, because I've always been a supporter of Bitcoin as a payment protocol as well as a store of value.
Yes.
And it never realized that potential. Now people have got the Lightning Network to use, and there's liquid side chains, but they haven't attracted great adoption. And Ethereum itself had problems with the fees, driving users away, so they went to Solana.
That's true.
And Cardano and Sui and all these other coins.
Yes.
So the whole momentum of crypto has now spilled into the altcoins instead of staying with Bitcoin, where it should have stayed in the first place. Yeah.
Right. But if you use too much Bitcoin, I mean, build on the Bitcoin network, wouldn't you be clogging and making it congestion?
Right, okay.
And people have done that. People have seen that with the launch of ordinals and Sats projects. They're now dead, apparently.
Exactly, they are. So our developers decided that the UTXO model, having looked at it architecturally, is actually the best for scalability. The account-based models have this bottleneck where any particular, say, DeFi program could could change any particular account.
Right.
Any smart contract can change any account.
Right.
So that creates a bottleneck. So you need layer 2 solutions like Polygon and sharding to support the account-based systems. So yeah, the scalability is actually there with UTXO. And when Satoshi wrote Bitcoin, it was like a rat's nest of code. And our developers have completely cleaned it up and optimized it. And we've actually demonstrated on a private VPN network 60,000 transactions a second using the original type of Bitcoin architecture. It was scalable right from the beginning.
But now it's not, is it?
But, well, because of the not doing hard forks, it's crippled the software developers' ability to
now you
scale
you only have
Bitcoin.
1 megabyte.
Well, yeah, with SegWit, it's actually created what you would call extension block technology.
Okay, but how much megabytes can you get from that?
Well, in practice, about 2.5 to 3
It's not much.
megabytes. It's not
Compared
much.
to 30.
Yeah, compared to the original 30, and other coins can scale far more than that.
So you prefer UTXO-based networks rather than the Bitcoin. But you're building on the Bitcoin network. Why is that? Isn't that irony?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we've taken the original Bitcoin software, we've made it scalable and optimized, and built our own decentralized network where we have our own community of users.
Okay.
So that's where we are a layer 1 chain like Bitcoin, and that, like Litecoin, for example, or Bitcoin Cash, we're one of these layer 1 UTXO blockchains, and this one can do extraordinarily high amount of transactions.
Without congesting the network?
Yeah, without congesting the network, and also using pruning means that people's hard drives don't get filled up with transactions as well.
Interesting.
So the technology was there right from the beginning.
Okay.
But what we're going to do for Bitcoin is we're going to create a wrapped token, a wrapped Bitcoin token on our network, and that will be the crossover. We'll encourage
similar to wrapped ETH.
Wrapped ETH, yes.
A wrapped
but
Bitcoin
we'll have
version.
a wrapped Bitcoin version.
That doesn't exist already?
Not on a UTXO network. It only exists on account-based systems. We want to be first to do it on a UTXO coin.
Okay.
Because what we've done also is we've put in the smart contract functionality of Ethereum into our UTXO blockchain.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you're really making it into a hybrid.
It is a hybrid, but that's the thing. Bitcoin was written in late 2008. We're now like 17 years later.
Yeah.
So how often has technology stood still, particularly in IT, for 17 whole years?
Agreed.
It doesn't.
Agreed.
It doesn't. So we're now onto second and third generation coins, and that's what Web3 is all about as well. You know, this third generation internet with crypto powering it. So technology's changed, but unfortunately, Bitcoin has remained relatively static and relying on the store of value. And this is where I'm worried about it, because the block rewards are halving every 4 years.
That's true.
And the miners were meant to get fee income to replace the block rewards. But with the small blocks, the fee income is going to, it's a lot less. And it's going to Lightning Network providers and other side chains.
So it's deviating from the original.
It's deviating, and the miners can't compete because the miners are specialists in SHA-256 hashing. That's what they do best. They're not best at running Lightning nodes and things like that.
Just before we wrap up, there's so much to discuss here. I'm fascinated. But just before we wrap up, there's been conspiracies and comments that Hal Finney was the original Satoshi Nakamoto. Do you agree with this?
I don't agree with that. I think he was one of the first people to find out about it.
Okay, but he was not the original.
No.
You know who the original is.
I don't know who he is, but there is a theory he was a Canadian cryptographer.
What's his name?
I don't recall the guy's name.
You know
I
something.
don't recall the guy's name, but that has my my theory.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Theory.
I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. I would love to have you on the podcast if you're ever back in Dubai.
Yes,
but
yes.
I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And just before we wrap up, for those watching, where can they find you if they're interested to find you?
Okay, you want to find us nexa.org, nexa.org. Look at that, and you can see a video where I explain about our coin and our vision, and we're going to do wrap Bitcoin on Nexa. So we're not moving away from Bitcoin.
Brilliant. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time,
Okay.
Andrew. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you found this insightful. We'll leave all the links in the description so you can check out Andrew's profile. Thank you again. I'm Adele, the host, and I will see you next time. Cheers.
Web3.tv